As the Road Traffic Amendment Act 2025. And of course, as always, it will be read and construed as one with the Principal Act and all amendments to it. Clause 2 deals with the amendment of Section 2 of the Principal Act, Mr. President, and that is where we remove the term license decal.
So license decal, everyone, is that sticker that you normally paste on your windscreen. That's the one that is always hard to come off, all right? So that's what it means. That's what is a license decal.
And we also remove the term license decal from several provisions through the acts and regulations. In particular, just name for ease of reference, under the Principal Act, we remove it from sections 2 and 13, and from the 2nd, 3rd, and 5th schedules, as referenced in clauses 2 and 5 of the bill. Regulations 18, 20, 26, 77F, and 98, as set out in the schedule to the bill, will also be amended because of...
All right, so who is a constable? A constable is every single sworn member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force. So from no rank to the highest rank, every single police officer is a constable. I repeat, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Every single police officer is a constable. It's just that some constables have ranks like corporal, sergeant, inspector, superintendent, deputy superintendent, commissioner, deputy commissioner, so on, so forth. All right? So please bear that in mind. Now remember, it is no longer mandatory to provide any vehicle documents to any constable. Though there is a requirement under the regulations, and I will hold that based on that the regulations and the actions of Parliament, it is no longer mandatory to provide the insurance for any law enforcement purpose. It is simply for administrative purpose, such as when you are, registering your vehicle, so on and so forth.
These are all places where the license decal is referenced. Clause 3 amends Section 7 of the bill, Mr. President, and this is where we remove the mandatory requirement for drivers to provide evidence of motor vehicle registration and fitness certificates for inspection on demand by a constable. So I don't know if members recall that when we were debating the bill, the question was, why can't we just provide it on our phone? Why are we modernizing the bill and still having to produce these things? Can't we just produce an image? Now you don't even have to produce the image because the police will have that information. So it's not changing the requirement to provide your license. We are not there yet. So it is still an offense to drive without a license. But they will know if they're driving an unlicensed vehicle, which is a different offense. They will know that from the information on their smart check.
Right, Donald the Law fans. So here is the actual section of the law, Road Traffic Amendment Act 2025, as was amended. This is a copy of what was passed in the House of Parliament. As you can see, there is no requirement to produce any vehicle documents at all under the Road Traffic Act. There is no penalty. It's no longer an offense to provide any vehicle documents, including insurance documents. All of that was removed and, is to be removed. We're just pending the act to be signed by the GG, etc., for it to come into effect sometime towards the end of July. So remember, every single document, you're no longer required to provide any vehicle documents, motor vehicle fitness, insurance, certificate of registration, none of those documents.
Device. Mr. President, it's flowing from that, of course, is a consequence that a driver will not be penalized for not providing these documents to a constable. That is in respect of the motor vehicle registration and fitness for inspection, as those offenses will go. Under column 2, which are related to sections 7.3, sections 13.3 and 13.5. And again, this is because, as I said earlier, these offenses now removed because you are not required to do certain things anymore. And in respect of 7.3, the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th offenses specified in column 2 will be deleted, so that the failure, again, of drivers to provide evidence of motor vehicle fitness and registration is not an offense. This is where that amendment is perfected.
So, as you can see, even in the schedule to the act where it spoke about the offenses and the fines, all of those offenses, offense 5, offense 6, offense 7, and offense 8, which are all related to motor vehicle fitness, registration, license, and insurance information. So it's no longer an offense to fail to produce these documents to a constable. And as I said, I big up the Jamaica Labour Party government for this action. I say thank you for this action, and it proves that the government, to me, is actually thinking about the fundamental rights, the constitutional rights of us as Jamaicans. Because this is not about digitalization. When you read the letter, the text of the bill, it's not about digitalization. It is squarely about, the government will not say it, but this is clearly about the freedom of movements as well as other constitutional rights that are being violated by constables stepping out into the road and tell people, say, under this section, blah, 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 them are going to stop and check for documents, etc., etc., etc.
Presidents, in the offenses under column 2, in relation to sections 13.3 and 13.5, the words license decal are again deleted.
So that is the only reason you're detaining me right now?
Yes, sir. I'm stopping you under section 7 of the road traffic officer. Give me the power to inspect your documents and driver's license.
So
right?
just to inspect my documents?
Yes, sir.
That's all. What's the name? And for those of us who are concerned about constables stopping us arbitrarily to run our plates to see if these vehicles' documents are indeed intact, remember now, these constables used to say they are stopping you under section 7 of the Road Traffic Act, for example, and they were saying that this is the section that gave them the power to stop, to request vehicle documents. Now, Parliament has removed this section. So which section will constables now say give them the power to stop me if they want to go and run my plate to check if the vehicle documents are expired? None. I have perused the entire bill, and there is no amendment. There's no section in law that allows that arbitrary detention to run plates in the system. There's nothing like that. And I repeat, I will repeat for emphasis, the section 20 that gives the power to request driver's license. That section also does not convey any power to a constable to stop or detain anyone to request driver's license. Following the ruling of Humans versus the Attorney General, the request for documents and driver's license. Well, in this case now, the request for documents is no longer there, but the request for driver's license follows reasonable suspicion of offense, or it has to follow if the officer saw you committing an offense, or it has to follow if there's reason to believe that you're about to commit an offense. Remember, a traffic ticket can only be written if the constable has reason to believe, and you can only be detained under law if the constable have one of those 3 conditions. So that is what a detention is: condition precedent and at least reasonable suspicion of an offense. Until next time, comment. Let me hear if you have any questions. Don't audit the law.